Hey there and happy Friday. Today really got away from me. I just wasn't planning on having my grandkids like all day, and when they showed up, it was so fun to play with them, and then they just went home a little bit ago. So it's like, hey, now I can plan out my card, finish what was in my head, put it down here, and hopefully Kay's not surprised, my hostess Kay, because I'm doing virtual stamp party for Kay Block. This is her third card, and hopefully this isn't a surprise because she said, hey, could you please do a Easter card for me? So this is Kay's card number 3. I am doing an Easter card for her. So just some soft pastel colors, kind of simple, but adding just some nice soft touches for techniques that I can show you too. Hi there, Francis. Hi, Kim. So with that, yeah, it's Friday night, so I won't take up a lot of your time in case you have other plans or just want to finish unwinding from your week too. So let me get my camera turned around. I'm thinking I probably won't have a lot of viewers at this time because I kind of said I'd be on in the afternoon too, but here it is. How cute and sweet is this little guy, this little fuzzy duck there. Hi Lois, good evening to you too. So from the mini catalog here's Easter Friends, and that is on page 27, and you can see it's got like this cute little bunny here. He almost looks like guilty, like he's sorry for doing something because those eyes are just so cute. And then this guy is the one that I'm using here, and this little fuzzy plump chick looks so real to life. It's just great. And then it's got some really nice sentiments, even like the My Friend is there. I'm going to use Happy Easter and this sentiment, and then there's another one just for kind of like a spring look too. I often think that Easter and baby cards go together, so I think this would make a good idea also for Easter, not only Easter but babies and different spring things too. Hi Renee. So Kim says, oh, I want that set. This is the funny thing. So I was on the fence about it, and I didn't feel like I had any new Easter offerings in my repertoire of stamp sets and such. But okay, so how fun is it how often do you guys say, I didn't think I needed that, this like stamp set, this bundle, or those accessories until I used it? Well, joke's on me, because so many people have been ordering this Easter Friends stamp set that I went, you know what, I feel like I'm the one losing out. So I went and ordered it, and then when Kay asked if I would do an Easter card, I'm like, I am set. So that worked out so well. And like I said, it's kind of funny because it was you guys that made me buy something, not the other way around. Hi there, Jeannie. Yeah, the font is really fun. It's just kind of here, if you can see it up close. How cute is that for just a fun kind of lazy cursive font there? So I have that I'm using, and I'm also going to show you what didn't make the cut as I go along. But I also want to show you, actually I'm going to just show you up front, I'm kind of doing a double embossed look here with this, and I'm going to run both of these layers through my cut and emboss machine. But first I think I'm going to run this little white piece to get the rectangle stitch. So I'm using my stitch rectangles. It has rectangle stitch framelits dies because they're older. It's exactly what's in the catalog, which goes by stitch rectangle die. So I always want to tell you that, so in case you see this or look back on the video, whenever I list the still shot of the picture later with the supplies, I always put what the current name is. There's not too many things that have switched names. So you get that whole variety pack of all those different rectangles in there. You get a lot. So this is the one that I'm using. So I'm going to set that aside. I feel like they could just fall out. And this I'm going to talk about later. But let me run this through my machine here, just with some basic white cardstock, like so. Run that through. And then some of you might go, oh, this could make a fun frame here. Because when I do this, Okay, so this is a piece I'm going to use. I love the stitching around the rectangle there. And then some of you might go, yep, save that piece because that could make like a fun frame for something else later. So we'll see. You guys know me. Sometimes I might save things and then not too far down the road I'll go, okay, it's taking up space. Time to move on. All right. And then next I'm going to emboss using the Gingham embossing folder. You guys, I really like this one. So 2 of you just won this for my 26th stamping anniversary a couple weeks ago. I gave a couple of these away. So hopefully they have arrived in the mail or will be soon. So I'm just going to feed that in. It's not a 3D embossing folder, even though it gives a really nice groove in there. So because it's not, all I do is swap out this plate number 2, and then I just put my cutting plates back in. So I have the big platform number 1, and then my cutting plates, which are the number 3s, and then I just run that through. And then we got this, and probably the fun thing about this is that you don't have to worry, should I use this side or that side? Because whatever groove pops down, it pops up on the opposite. So it really is kind of just the way it is. Hi there, Maria. Thanks for joining in tonight. Okay, I also want to do this, but I only want this side done, the front side. So I've already scored it here, as you can see. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm opening this way. I scored it at the 4 1/4. So really it's 8 1/2. But then what I do is just take and find where it's scored here and just put that right in the embossing folder, so that scored edge is kind of just almost sitting in there a little bit, because if I put it right to the edge, then there's going to be just like a hollow spot, and I don't want that either. And now I can lay that, and this is the only time or the only exception that I don't put this hinge in first. So my hinge is actually at the bottom, just because otherwise we'd have the card going around the other way. Oops, did it move? Nope. I think it was an optical, well, maybe it did. It did slide. I thought it was an optical illusion at first, but then with the shadow, since it's nighttime here, it actually did move, and I don't want it to move. Maybe gonna do it this way. There we go, and hold it down. So now that I've put it through, it'll stay there. And then we just have the front side. So, ta-da, perfect. So you can see that it embossed all the way up to the score line, like so. And that way it's easy to write in or stamp in and put something in there without writing on grooves and ending up poking or tearing with your pen. Okay, so I've got that and I've got that. Now it's time to work on the center focal point here. And let me pull out some paper here, because I'm going to scratch paper. I'm going to eventually do some blends and such with this. So let me get out my Memento black ink pad here. And yeah, it was hard to choose, because it's like, yeah, how do you choose out of these fun little guys? But I went with this one just because I thought, oh, this will be fun to kind of add some scenery to, because he's looking like he's walking. So I'm just going to kind of center him in the lower part of the card there, like so. And then I'm going to next open up my Pear Pizzazz ink pad. And in that stamp set, there's like a little grass image here. And so with this, I'm just going to ink up a little bit of grass. Now this is the fun thing. If you see how the grass kind of goes up and over here it goes down, that's the same thing his feet actually do, this cute little duck. So I feel like I can kind of just maneuver that grass to go right under his feet there, and right under his feet over here. Now, do you think they did that on purpose? Probably. I thought it was just fun when I went to stamp it. It's like, that's really cool. Okay, and then basic gray is what I'm going to use for the sentiment. I thought there's not a lot of difference between the basic black and basic gray, or I should say my Memento, but I just thought it had a little bit of a softer look. if I did the basic gray. And I think because this guy isn't heavily outlined, he's just kind of sketched, I thought basic gray would really tie in. And when I did this, they almost now look about the same color, if you agree. I think so. So I'll put that aside. And now for my coloring, I'm just going to take a couple different kinds of blends. These are my pumpkin pie and my Faux saffron. And this is Faux saffron here. I don't know if I even said that too. Thanks, Maureen. Isn't he adorable? I think so too. So Faux saffron and then pear pizzazz. And so that's why I'm using the Faux saffron here. And I always kind of get a kick out of my my pumpkin pie blends because there's such a big difference in the light and the dark. It almost looks like this should be a different color or something, but that is what it is. So I'm going to start with my lighter pumpkin pie here. And actually when I color here, you know, my coloring friend Pam, who's learning to color. I have more than one stamping friend named Pam. The one I know is watching, and that's not the one I'm referring to, but the one that likes to rewatch them. That Pam is always like, I need coloring lessons. So with the light pumpkin pie, I'm just going to kind of shade in here. I'm going to do the whole foot over here and the whole foot over here. And I'm going to go up here and do the whole beak. Sometimes when I do the light, and if there's sketching like this, sometimes it'll just make it dark in those areas. But I felt like this needed some highlighting with the dark, just to give it more color. Whoops, there we go. Having a tough time getting that lid off. So I'm just gonna go where the artist has sketched a little bit more on the bottom of the beak here and along there, and then just kind of following that sketching mark here and just barely putting some on the very bottom of the feet here, like so. Okay, so that's just kind of highlighting and giving it a two-tone look for that with the pumpkin pie. And now is the Faux saffron. So that's going to be really easy. I'm actually going to start with the light one first, which is kind of opposite of what I do. And if you watch me color, I usually use the bullet tip like I did with the beak and the feet. But this time I'm going to use the brush tip just because it's going to be easy to brush that color on like so. And I feel like because it's such a soft sketch look, then it just kind of follows around with that too. So I'm just kind of adding color here, there, and everywhere. Just really quick. Like how quick is that to do that? Hi Pam. It's always fun to see some of my regular followers when I kind of don't follow through with my regular time. Okay, so now I'm going to do that same thing, but this is the dark Faux saffron, but I'm also going to use that brush tip here. Same thing, I'm just gonna, wherever the artist here did those sketch lines, like in the eyes, I'm just gonna follow that and put the darker here. And especially when it's just kind of, you can see there's not a definitive outline here. This is kind of great with helping to add some of that too, like so. And I feel like if I did the bullet tip, I might be adding more definitive lines, and maybe I don't want to. And with this, if you go out of the line a little bit, I think it's going to be okay too, because it's just going to make him look fuzzier. And then there's more shading there, so I'm just going to make that a little bit heavier, and then leave that just kind of lighter there. And then, oops, I just had to step away for a second. I did put a little bit too much. I'm going to use my color lifter. There we go. Sometimes this thing works like a charm, because I did put just a little too much. It kind of looks like he has stinky armpits, so that's going to just take that away. All right. Hi, Diane. Nice to have you on here. So I think this is just kind of darling, just like that. But now I'm going to add with my blending brushes some more color, and that's going to make everything really pop. So I'm going to bring back that pear pizzazz here, and I'm going to try and leave my camera kind of low here so you can see how that goes. So I just kind of swirl that around my blending brush here. And then I'm just going to pick up the edges and go over, because this is such a soft look, I'm not even going to worry about masking. Sometimes like with the old sponges, they were a little bit heavier and I would have like cut out an outline of my cute little creature so that I didn't get any green on him. But I feel like because it's so light, I kind of just go around like that. And how fun to just add some color, very light. And this is Pear Pizzazz, the same as the green there. And love it already just for the softness that it adds. And then I'm going to open up the Balmy Blue, which is one of our lighter light blues that Stampin' Up! Has. Same thing, just kind of swirl that around. And because this is a little bit darker than the green, I kind of start off to the side here and then kind of work my way around it like so. And gonna pick up a little bit more because I always feel like, you know what, you can always add more, but you can't take away. And I'm just gonna actually get close to it. But if you look close, I'm kind of leaving almost like a white halo around there too. But it just really just adds a lot to have that background in there. And doesn't it kind of look like an old vintage type Easter card? Hey there, Lisa. It's like I summoned you. I use the color blue and then you come on to watch. This is great. Hi there, Val. So that's all I'm going to do for the coloring there. And let me just pop this up while I kind of finish assembling the card. Like I said, it's just kind of fun when I'm doing techniques like the blending brushes and the coloring in to show you closely so that you hopefully get a good idea of what I'm doing. So I'm going to pull back these two fun spring colors, the Pear Pizzazz and So Saffron. And I don't know why I flipped this over because like I said, they are the same one way or the other. So I'm going to layer this on top of that. Kind of, it just the way it worked out, I almost feel like my pattern like connected with this on my sample card. But I think it's just by fluke the way it lined up. And I kind of felt also like I needed something on here. So this is where I'm going to kind of segue off into outer space, you might say. What I did, so yesterday, if you remember the card that I did using that New Horizons paper and everybody loved it. So here's the stamp set on the horizon that goes with that. I'm like, I was going to add some, even some birds or maybe this grass, but I'm like, no, that's going to be too much for this. I like the soft look. But what I wanted to do is take out the dies, the horizon dies, and try and put some kind of like landscape with it. And even these two fence things, because it's like when you think of ducks, I mean, I grew up on a farm, we live on a farm, and I thought how fun to maybe connect with some kind of gate or fence look there. So I did cut these pieces out. But when I put them on, and maybe it's because now I like the softness of the blending brushes, but these white gates, it just didn't fit. And I don't know if it's because maybe they look too beachy, like South Carolina type fences or what, but I just felt like it took away from the card instead of adding to the card. So they didn't make the cut. And sometimes I just like to show you, like, yeah, sometimes things don't just come together, but it still needed some accessories and such. So I got out my Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon. And so you can tell it is very crinkled. And so that's the way it comes. So don't feel like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with this? I need to iron it. Does this look crooked? Maybe it's just the way I was holding it. I felt like it looked crooked, but I think it's fine. That I will adjust that if it is crooked before I put my ribbon on. But I think it was just the angle I had it at. No, it is crooked there. This is going to drive me crazy because I'm going to want Kay to have a good card. This is going to be easy to pull up too if I do it right away before I get everything else on. Okay, maybe that's why my edges weren't lining up. Much better. Yay, much better. Okay, that was going to drive me crazy. All right, so with the crinkle seam binding, I'm just going to go up over the little edge there of the Pear Pizzazz. Like so. I don't need quite that much, so I'll scoot it down. And it's really, really thin to work with. So some of you might go, oh, that's maybe harder to work with. Other people might go, oh, this is great because it is just so easy to work with and tie. Let me get out my ribbon cutting scissor. I'm just going to cut straight across and then kind of eye that to make sure it's the same length there. Cut that straight across like so, and just that soft white, kind of a little bit of shine to that's kind of fun. Hey there, Rachel, fun to see you on here. And then this guy, I'm just gonna pop up with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to do that. And like I said, this would be so fun to make as a baby card for the fact that you've just got some yellows and some flower that you don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, or even if the parents don't know. It's just kind of fun to have kind of a neutral type card like this for that occasion too. All right, are these coming off or not? There we go. Okay, and now this is ready to put on like so. And I feel like with the white of the ribbon, and then now that I've put this on the Pear Pizzazz, I feel like now you really see the blue. And that's why I also like using any of the dyes with any kind of stitching or edging on there with the blending brushes, because you can see that color really sets in there and just kind of gives it more of a frame too. So I've got that on there. And then I did want to add one more fun new accessory, and those are the faux sea glass shapes. There's some stones too. The stones were just kind of a little, almost too big or kind of stood out because this is such a soft pastel looking card. So these are very soft and pastel too. So you've kind of got a white and a jade and, you know, like your light green, probably the Pear Pizzazz. I forgot to look up the colors. It was like a last minute addition. So just know that this matches. So I'm just going to kind of put some little like stones too over here to kind of be at the foot of the grass here. Whoops, thought it picked it up. I didn't. I'm just going to put one there and over here. And because this is hollow here, I'm just going to leave that too open because I don't want it to look like he dropped anything out between his legs. Like, oops, there was an accident waiting on the walking path or something like that. So there it is. Oh, the inside. Nope, I have to do the inside. I have a newer team member too, and she was frustrated. So I'm like, I'm going to show you something as I put together the inside. And she said she was frustrated because she was doing her card and she got edges. And sometimes if you have a stamp, like I just took out the stamp from the die cut piece of red rubber, cling red rubber, put the sticker on. And so yeah, if I were to put this on, sometimes I put them on at an angle instead of like this. For the fact that that way you don't catch any overhanging edges on there that might give you, you know, extra ink that you don't want. So I often put it on this way. But the thing that you might see when you see any of my stamps, you'll see like maybe it doesn't look the nicest, the sticker. And I really don't care because what I care about is how it's going to look stamped, not how it's going to look as a stamp. So you can see I've really chopped that close, and you can see this one has a lot of extra edge that has the potential if I press or rock a little bit on my ink pad. And so, especially when I was doing events where newer stampers would be, I think the tendency is to push really hard so that it pushes past the stamped words or images and gets on that, and then to stamp really hard where it's going to stamp off. So a lot of my stamps will look kind of chopped up, but I'm going to show you. I put the sticker on first so that way it's not, you don't have sticker hanging over the edge that you might have you know, chopped off too. So, oh yeah, yes, Lisa, that's great. You knew I was going to use blue. You hopped on just in time because up to that point, honestly, I was only using So Saffron and Pear Pizzazz. So just kind of yellow and green. And then just like magic, like I said, I summoned you by using blue. Lisa and I are true blue friends. We love the color blue. Okay, there we go. So I've just, as you can see, now all of this is just garbage, and that's fine. Thank you, Lois. And I will finish, but like I said, I just felt like the card came together. It was a good time to show you what to do. So this sentiment says, sending warm and happy wishes this spring. And I'm just going to ink that up in black, and I'm going to put that just right on the inside. And I love how that font carries through with the font from the outside to the inside there. So just really soft and pretty, and just putting the black on the So Saffron, it's going to be light enough that people can easily read whatever you write in there. So this wraps up card number 3 for my hostess KQ block there. All right, so let me get my camera turned around here again. Oops, there we go. Here I am. So she's going to be keeping her party open for a little bit, probably not the entire end of the month. So if you would like to order and use her host code, or if you want me to help you order, let me know that you would like her host code used so that you get her 3 cards for free. A minimum $25 order will get the 3 cards that I've made Wednesday, Thursday, tonight, Friday, and then you'll get the cards as a thank you from her and I. And that will wrap up my virtual hostess demoing for the month. But then Monday through Friday, and the following week, Monday through Friday, I'll be doing 10 more demos, and that will be my usual kind of set of 10 cards that I'm replacing my in-person stamp camps to virtual stamp camps. So you'll have 10 more demos to look forward to before the end of the month is up. So thank you, Renee. And so I'll see you guys Monday. But if you have any questions, all 3 of my hostesses have their parties open. So if you have any questions on that, you can look back at all the posts. And I have, like I said, the still shots of the cards to help you with that for deciding on ordering, or, you know, just to get ideas. That's my whole purpose, is to hopefully inspire you guys with ideas, maybe show you some new techniques. And in this case tonight, you guys bought so many of the Easter Fun stamp set that I decided I needed to buy it myself because of that. So you guys did that to me. It's kind of funny how that worked out. So have a good weekend. See you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.